Catch Wrestling Alliance, and we have a very special Saturday morning episode. Uh, Thank you, Cindy, for joining us.
It's been a hot minute since we talked.
I know, yeah, way too long. So it's great that we can schedule this. And the one of the reasons why it is a Saturday morning is because later on tonight we have the CJI 2 or the Craig Jones Invitational 2 going on in Las Vegas. Cindy and I are both there. No, just kidding. No,
I wish.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool because it's not like we're in California, so it's not like too big of a trip to go to one like the next state over, Nevada.
Yeah.
But alas, we're gonna watch it free on YouTube tonight. But I was
On
thinking
B
that, huh? On
Is it on
YouTube?
the B Team website? Or is I
No,
don't know.
oh,
I just heard it over like someone announced it during class.
it is. It's gonna be on the Flow Grappling YouTube
Oh,
channel.
never mind.
Yeah, it was. It was going to be, like how they streamed it last year, probably like on B Team's YouTube channel or whatever. But Flow Grappling did some deal with them so that it is going to be on live on Flow Grappling's YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can watch it live and free, but then because Flow Grappling kind of like bought the rights, I guess, so it's going to be free. But then say like after it finishes airing on Sunday night, so maybe like Monday, it will be gone. It'll go back behind Flow Grappling's paywall. So it kind of sucks that you can't just. So you got to basically, I guess it's just urging people to just watch it live, otherwise you're just gonna miss out.
Yeah. So tonight was it 6?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they do so. Cindy. So one of I was like, where do we start, right? Because so you said they mentioned it in class this week. So you actually train at 10th Planet San Jose. Like the main instructor is actually going to be competing, right? So
Yep.
was he there this week, Alan
Yeah, he wasn't
Sanchez?
there this week.
Okay, so he's probably just like focusing on this weekend then.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was one of the things we kind of want to talk about, where it's like, so we have, so Cindy and I have had the opportunity to train more extensively with 10th Planet, but then we've also spent about a year training under like Daisy Fresh. So those are two teams, or actually, well, actually, I was watching a bunch of the news conference stuff, and just little clips here and there, but Heath Pedigo, so the main coach for Daisy Fresh, or it's called the whole school is called Pedigo Submission Fighting, right? So he mentioned in an interview, it's like we're one of the only actual teams here that are an actual like made of one school. So he said like kind of like 10th Planet as well, where it's I think there's so many people doing like 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu that they can make a team. Uh, Pedigo Submission Fighting basically has like their core group of guys, so they have enough for a team. But a lot of the other teams are like mixed, or they have like wild cards, or like just a mixed group of Europeans, a mixed group of
Yeah.
Australians and stuff. Um, so I wanted to kind of talk about two main things where it's like, so Cindy and I have experience with at least two of the actual teams that are going to be competing tonight. But also, like first and foremost, I was going to talk about the format, right? So it's a quintet style. Craig Jones has said that it's like he believes it's like the most exciting format for a tournament. Uh, what do you think, Cindy?
Ooh, you are lagging. Maybe it's just my end.
Were you able to hear that? Hopefully,
Yeah.
if anybody's watching, let us know if we're both lagging, but hopefully not.
Initially I don't know too much about quintet style, but I thought it was like just matchup because they were talking or just not emphasizing, but like they just let us know about the different weight classes there were. So I thought they were like matching up. But like quintet style is very exciting because it's like more more unknown, like what's gonna happen. So it's more exciting.
Yeah, you get that whole drama aspect where it's like there was a one of the earlier quintets where it was Team 10th Planet, where the smaller guy Gio Martinez was able to uh, guillotine a larger guy from I think Sakuraba's team. This was like years ago in Japan when 10th Planet won like one of the early quintets there. So yeah, you can get all this kind of drama where it's like you get the little guy beating the big guy, and um, so actually we have one question. So hello, this is one of our big fans, and we're just so thankful that you're checking this out. So we're basically we're talking about the CJI 2 event. It's going to happen later on today. So it's in Vegas, but you can watch it live and free on the Flow Grappling YouTube channel. So it should start at 6 p.m. West Coast time. So yeah, so there it's going to be quintet style. So basically, you get teams of five going up against each other, and so what can happen is usually it's like so like you'll have those five guys like facing each other, right? And so say if you start with the littlest weights, and like if one guy submits the other one, then he'll just stay in, and then he'll try to submit the next weight up, and then he'll keep going until he loses, and then the next person on the team will go, right? But if if two people are like they don't submit each other in the time allotted, then they'll both be disqualified, or they're not disqualified, but they'll both be out, right? So at the end of it, so the team who has the most people still in there without being like removed or submitted, that will be the winner of that round. So then the first day it'll be like they'll have I think it's like quarterfinals, so then you go to semis, and then so then I think on Sunday they'll have like the finals, so they'll kind of give people a night to rest.
I heard that 10th Planet is going against, is it Daisy Fresh?
No, they could though. That's the sad thing because they're on the same side of the bracket. But at first,
Yeah.
they're going to go up against the Australian team, which is made up of people of various schools. So that's kind of one of the points that even Heath Pedigo made, where it's just like we're one of the only people who actually have all people from the same school competing. So
Yeah, okay.
yeah, 10th Planet is a 10th Planet team going up against a mix of Australians.
It's a good thing you explained that because I I theoretically got the idea of a quintet, but I didn't know like it's like you stay in if you submit the next person.
Yeah, that's why you can get these like really exciting matches where it's like maybe the little guy can submit the heavyweight of the other team, or like you can get one guy who can just like submit all five of the other team. So it
Yeah.
can be really exciting in that way. So I think the Craig Jones has a point where it could just be more exciting than just watching a few matches, like say like a UFC where they just have like five fights. That's the pay-per-view. But this kind of adds a little drama where it's like you can have your favorite team, and then you can see how they do. You can root them on, if they continue winning, or if it seems like they're kind of tied, or if they're behind a guy, and like if they're if two of their guys are beat, then you can hope for that maybe their heavyweight at the end can save them and win it all for them. So you get kind of these different like dynamics with regards to the drama that a quintet style format can provide.
Yeah. That's pretty exciting to watch. We're gonna have a get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, exactly. So, because and then that's with that being said, it's like so you and I have trained with Daisy Fresh and 10th Planet. Do you kind of have, or actually, it'd be great if anyone asked a question about like what like if they have any questions about how what it's like to train with either school, we're here for it. Give us a specific angle, but like, is there anything in particular or any difference in particular that you find or that you found, Cindy, with regards to training at either place?
Who's coaching the PSF team? Is it Heath or is it?
It's Heath.
Oh, not Derek.
No, Derek is one of their big like well, the LA coach. The LA coach. But he's like one of their black belts from early on.
Okay. Well, I feel like the biggest difference was that at least the LA affiliate of PSF just had no structure. Like, um, the classes had no structure. It was very like, if you have a question or like do your own thing. And I didn't like that.
Mm.
And at least the 10 planets I've been to have a lot of structure that I appreciate.
Oh,
Like
how
there's a
is it?
system to it.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, there's a system to it.
Yeah. So how was it like at the like the San Jose compared to HQ?
So the classes I've done at HQ, either like the advanced classes, there's like a wall of warm-ups, and we either in the advanced classes we do something off of that, or in the Eddie's class we would do like the flow system.
Mhm.
And I think that was fine, but in San Jose, I've begun to favor it more, sorry. But we do we have a theme, like either it's passing or it's like mount and then or whatever. But we do that for like a few weeks, which I appreciate. And we'll do like every Monday we'll do like a series of techniques, and then we keep that the same technique like throughout the week. So we like really practice it and drill it. And then maybe like for example, like one day we were doing like mount attacks like that week, and then the next week we'll do like mount defense. So it all connects, which I really appreciate.
All right, and then so yeah, I pretty much agree with our experience, right? At Daisy Fresh, um, or even sometimes like they will go over, or like they'll definitely be a little bit more IBJJF oriented with the
Yeah.
rules and stuff. So, 10th Planet is
And they were
okay.
geek.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. So they'll want to do both, where it's like they would definitely want to compete in IBJJF in both divisions, the no gi and gi. So uh, Cindy and I favor no gi stuff. Um, so like we pretty much go only 2 times a week because I only have like no gi class 2 times a week, right? And then Wednesday was kind of like you can do whatever you want. So yeah, so in that way we felt like uh, we weren't able to like just be there anytime.
Yeah. And it was like I was more of a beginner then too. So it's like I don't know what to start with.
Hmm.
Like I can do whatever I want, but like I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and whereas say like Eddie Bravo at 10th Planet, he's really big into drilling. So in his classes, or he's he in his night class, yeah, they'll definitely go over a lot of what they call like flows or warm-ups, and so sequences that they feel are very important. And so in his afternoon class, he does like an abbreviated version of the techniques that he feels is most important. And so then he'll want you to do those ones, and like you'll just repeat them over and over. And he feels that the more you do it, then the more natural it will just like occur in a match. So that's like his perspective, as opposed. Actually, one time he was talking about that, where it's just like before the whole debate about the ecological style. He was feeling like, man, maybe we should drill even more to get better. But then that whole thing where it's like no drilling and just trying to find the move in the like while you're sparring, like kind of came up, but he was like, I don't know, I don't, I don't know about that, but yeah, that's 10th Planet style, where there is actually almost in a way there's like there is a lot of structure where it's like stuff that they found over the years that seem to occur a lot. So then they want you to be excellent in those scenarios.
Yeah. And similarly to HQ, we always do like situationals at the end of class or like positional sparring, which is similar to the EBI OT. But I thought it was a cool similarity that we get to like just practice our techniques and apply what we learned.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so then also too, with that being said, and the difference between like a 10th Planet team and a Daisy Fresh team, and it's like since they are all from the same school, I think they could probably work better together, right? So like because they've these guys, especially Daisy Fresh, it's like a lot of them have trained together. Have you'll see was it you got they got Michael Pixley and the Hillbilly Hammer and all that. So it's like a lot of them I think are from their HQ. So I think a lot of them have spent time training together. So I think that that will help them overall, even though it's not like even though they're not competing at the same time. But I think that kind of helps like when a team is really together and um, I think that really helps build like the morale and so they can feel even more supported where it's like they're all working together as a team. Whereas when maybe a team is made up of a bunch of different individuals from other places, that they might have like these, they might not have the same goal in mind. Like you could get some people who are like just really egocentric and they're just thinking about themselves, wanting themselves to look good and not caring about the team. But I think when you have like a team that's like working together, they all know each other very well, then I think it could give them a little bit of a psychological edge.
Yeah, yeah. Because team cohesiveness is like so important.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, yeah, in your sociology like background, like
Yeah.
can you give us some insights on that?
Uh,
Because it could
no.
even be like because like even at like say like at workplaces and all that, like I
Oh,
think
yeah. Like team cohesiveness is really important because it just we're we're social beings. Like we crave like being social. So, um it's really important to be part of a team because that enhances your esteem, that enhances your productivity, you gain new perspectives, and you have a support system.
yeah. So I think these teams that are mostly, or if not all, from the one school, then they could have like that psychological advantage. Right? So
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, then like Daisy Fresh and 10th Planet are on the same side of the bracket. So if both of those schools win, then the very next round they'll face each other. But we have had one person in particular that you're familiar with. We've said Alan Sanchez, the coach at San Jose. He had a match against the Hillbilly Hammer a few years ago. And how did you see that? Did you happen to see that one, Cindy?
I do not.
Oh, okay, it's all right. Well, Alan won. He submitted Jacob Couch. Like I believe he choked him out. I think he got the rear naked choke. So
Nice.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, definitely he won. So maybe 10th Planet might have a little bit of a psychological edge over Daisy Fresh.
I really like Alan as a competitor because he seems really calm and he has a really good mindset going into it. Like every time he talks to us, he's like, if you're struggling against your teammates or whatever, is like try to face it with gratitude. Like like be grateful that you're surrounded by people that are holding you accountable and that are helping you grow. And he's like, iron sharpens iron, or like stay consistent. And he he's really like the unexpected, unsuspecting one. Like he's so quiet and he's so calm. I really like his like demeanor, and his favorite techniques are also my favorite techniques. Like he really likes lockdown. He really likes dogfight. He really likes what's another one, like body locks, and he focuses like every warm up is a takedown. So I really like his um style of teaching and his coaching and his competitiveness. And also, I really appreciate a coach that still competes
Mm.
because that means they're staying active. They're trying to better themselves, and like if they better themselves, they better their team.
Yeah, that's a great point too, where it's like that means that they're trying to like stay at the cutting edge of like the all the trends that are happening in competition and stuff, so they can, they saw it firsthand, so then they can help the whole school, right? Like understand like what's going on out there, what to expect if you go compete.
Yeah, and he like teaches seminars all the time, and he goes and attends seminars too. So like every time he comes back from a seminar, he teaches us what he learned.
No, that's fantastic. So yeah, he definitely has like the real like what like scholarly approach to learning the art, right? So
Yeah,
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 yeah, and then that can only help the students.
yeah.
No,
So
that's
I see a
fantastic.
lot of,
Mhm.
or I have a lot of hope and really rooting for him at the on CJI.
Well, that's cool. So if people didn't know, so there he did compete not on 10th Planets team. He was part of a kind of like a mixed school team for the AIGA tournament last year, I believe. And well, no, actually, not even last. It seems like last year, but I think it was actually the beginning of this year. And he was like on his team. They didn't qualify to go to the world finals, but I think on his team he was like one of the only people who were like was like submitting people. So he ended up being like the probably like one of the MVPs, or like one of the people who had all these like highlight um, things that you or highlight videos that you would see online, because he was like one of the best guys on the team.
He also won EBI overtime or
Nice. Yeah.
EBI tournament. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, the Eddie Bravo Invitational, and I think
Yeah.
didn't he? I think he also did he win like the combat jiu-jitsu, or did he do you know? Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, he's like this, and he's like how you said he's like more of a humble guy, right? He's not like
Yeah.
so like yeah, we've all seen them or whatever. Like we've seen them online at least, or it's like some guys just like bragging about or being all macho about like, oh, I can just destroy you or I can choke you out or whatever. And he's just like, like a very like calm, like more down to earth type of person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, everyone we met a few people on the team. So like in my experience, I mean, a lot of people have just been pretty nice. So at least on what on like 10th, I'm kind of going back to or sticking with the whole idea of the 10th planets team. Um, so like everyone's been pretty chill. So I'm hoping that they can beat the Australians and at least get to the second round, because it seems like there's just a bunch of great people or great competitors in the whole event. So like since we talked about like the whole psychological aspect, I mean I think these teams who are more cohesive, at least that can maybe give them an edge over these other teams that are just like packed with like all stars.
Yeah. Have you seen Geo?
Yeah, yeah. So he's even been at some of the tournaments. So you actually competed against one of his students. So he was like right next to me.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I think you didn't notice. Yeah, maybe you didn't. Maybe you weren't sure who he was yet. But so yeah, he was like yelling right next to me to his student and all that. So, but yeah, everyone's like just really nice. And yeah, what?
I
Wait,
didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, but yeah, everyone's pretty cool. So we have a question here. All right, so this is off topic, but I've been thinking of signing up for no-gi classes here in Des Moines, Iowa. Any advice for going to a no-gi BJJ class as a wrestler? Um, Thank you for your question. Um, so, do you have any advice, Cindy?
Go into it as any class. Like go in open minded and be open to learn.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like go in like because a lot of times the classes will be structured in a certain way where it's like, um, there's gonna like do some warm up and then they'll probably like teach a technique, so just try to learn it, and then when it's time to spar at the end, then yeah, I'd say just pin them, right? If you don't really know that many submissions, just try to pin them. Usually, like, if you kind of have that approach of pinning the person, you'll end up like naturally passing their guard. um, so try to keep that top down approach. I'd say like try to keep a lot of the best aspects of your wrestling, and that will really help you to like dominate, like even in competition.
I mean, there's a at this point I don't remember her name. I don't want to name drop. I can't anyway because I don't remember her name. There's a little girl in HQ that took wrestling classes outside of HQ, and then she took Eddie's classes. And I remember Eddie telling me like he told her to always don't do any takedowns in BJJ class because you can always do that outside. But when you're in here, focus on your jujitsu. Like be the bottom person, work on getting out from bottom. So even though, yeah, keep your best principles of like top down, pinning the person, also take it as an opportunity to grow where you're uncomfortable, where you're not used to it. Like working on getting out on bottom or like working on guard, being on your back, or in unconventional positions. So, yeah, I'd say you can practice your takedowns or whatever, but like also take it as a chance to work on things you're not used to.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like especially once you get really proficient at all like the common jujitsu techniques and stuff, then and like yeah, I think there's one time at HQ where one of the coaches we call Z, he saw that I was just like getting the better of one of my sparring partners. So then he told me like, "Okay, next time, like just why don't you start in like rubber guard or something, like start in some place that's so like you don't even ever really get to because you can submit them before then. So go to some place where it's just so you're just so weak. But I would say that that would be like once you feel really like comfortable and like you're proficient at a lot of the like fundamentals of basic jujitsu, then you can start messing around with other things and trying to start from a weak position. I think.
Yeah, yeah. But just go in open minded.
Yeah, yeah. Going like yeah, like a student, be humble, and even though actually I was thinking about this because people were kind of actually in this other podcast that I did earlier. There was a video where there's this guy online who was like he was the Red Ranger in the Power Rangers, and he has his own school in Utah. And even though he's not a catch wrestler, he put out a video on his social media this past week where he was saying like, "Oh, if you have the opportunity, you should learn catch wrestling because it's like the most bang for your buck." With grappling has like basically all these grappling styles included in just one style. Um, but one of the negatives he said is like, well, catch wrestling doesn't have a good marketing team. But then he said like all these people who might be like famous enough to be on shows like Joe Rogan or just any show where they have a big platform to speak about catch wrestling. He says that they all kind of still try to cater to jujitsu. And I was kind of thinking about that, where it's like, yeah, you'll have like they'll do tournaments where they call it catch wrestling, and then they'll add like points, or they'll allow people to be on their back and like as though they're pinned for a very long time. But I was thinking about like where it's like these other things, like other games and stuff. They're not ashamed to be themselves, right? They're not ashamed to be their own sport. But so actually, I totally lost track of my original. What did you say earlier? I think it's like a
Um,
big setup that kind of forgot my main point, where it's like you can. Oh, go ahead.
no, I
Totally
also
forgot.
forgot my train of
Okay.
thought.
Yeah, yeah. So I think ultimately, you can still do your own thing, but then, oh yeah, so going into a so even though you've had like this background with wrestling, or even others, so even people who've come from judo or other kind of backgrounds, if you go into a jujitsu class, you should just go in kind of like wanting to learn that, because say like jujitsu in particular, they're not gonna try to be a wrestling class. They're not gonna try to be a judo class, right? But you'll have other styles or other, yeah, you'll have maybe other instructors who I don't think they should do this. Let's say if they teach a judo class, or if they claim to teach catch wrestling, if we when we see them posting their videos, it's just like a jujitsu class, right? Or so, you know, um, so these styles are different enough where it's like if you're going to go to that class, do that style. I think that was ultimately my point, but it was like taking
Yeah,
me forever to get
yeah,
there.
a long-winded way of
Yeah, like several minute way of getting to that one point. Like, so yeah, just go in, be humble, do what they're doing, and then. But if you do come from a wrestling background, that you could totally just like don't lose some of those instincts,
yeah.
because yeah, especially nowadays in nogi, that's what's winning.
At least you're not doing gi.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Did you happen to see that there was a little bit uh, of a mention of that in that this past week on the Demetrius Johnson YouTube channel? He had a big debate between Mikey and Craig Jones.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, there was one section where Mikey kind of says like, "Oh, a lot of the people who are winning in Nogi, they're all gi guys." So so I guess he feels that um like if you do gi, it'll make you way better in no gi. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No,
No.
don't do it.
Yeah,
It's okay.
don't waste your time. Yeah, yeah.
I
I
don't think
think
you need it. Honestly, that means who am I to say? I'm a white belt, but maybe I'm just close-minded, narrow-minded, but like I don't think you need it. Maybe it'll enhance your jujitsu. I don't know. I'm just against it.
yeah, yeah, but that's the thing. I think sometimes they'll move the goalposts, right? Where it's like we do have, say, like going back to the Martinez brothers in San Diego for 10th Planet. You have you have Richie Martinez, so he wins the black belt division of IBJJF no gi division. So he doesn't do any gi, right? So and then also on Eddie Bravo's like or even 10th Planet Network's Instagram, they're always like posting like people's wins and stuff. And so there was a big IBJJF event in Las Vegas this week. So you have 10th Planet people winning at IBJJF, like in all kinds of belt divisions. Um, so yeah, I guess if you look at the numbers, right? So it's almost like people are comparing the competitors who are maybe the most famous or who get the most press, who have the best like uh, the best advertising team behind them, uh, and so maybe those people might be gi people, but uh, if you look at all the numbers, we're seeing, at least based on what we're seeing online, you see tons of people who don't do any gi winning IBJF no gi competition in all the belt levels.
Yeah. I don't know if Alan started in the gi, but I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But off topic. But I think was it Craig? I think Craig chose like I'm gonna debate this Lafufu today. And it was a picture of Mikey, which is
Yeah.
really funny.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you saw that one, if you saw the caption of that.
Yeah.
So now, like, this part of the talk where we talk about labubus and lafufus. How can you
How do you tell the
tell?
difference?
You have, yeah,
We
yeah,
need to
it
make
seems
a
like,
singlet
okay.
for our
Mhm.
Labubu.
Huh?
We need to make a singlet for our Labubu.
Yeah, seriously, but one where it's like you actually look like one. Where it's like, so it's not like just an image of one. It's just like you look like a full body suit of a
Yeah,
labubu.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you happen to have one like right on hand, like next to you?
A Labubu? I can go grab
Yeah.
one.
Because they're like everywhere here in LA. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So I have another question here. All right. Actually, I wish one day I can hear how you pronounce your your official name, right? So I tried once. So this is the comment. I tried once, and I think I was useful. I think it was a useful experience for realizing what it's like when a grappler gets you in their grips. I hated it. I felt like I was in prison. Yeah. I think ultimately, like, it feels like you just slow the pace. You can really slow the tempo down, and yeah, you can feel like stuck. Like, there was even like a highlight that I saw this past week from the IBJJF competition, the gi division, where it's like it seemed like one guy started off against one of the Meow brothers. So those guys are pretty famous, but there was a competition where like the competitor started off seeming to be doing very well, but then the Meow brother just kind of hung on. I think he's strong enough to kind of slow down the pace, and then very slowly he was able to take the guys back and get the win. But yeah, if you don't have that luxury of all that fabric, it can keep the pace going, and ultimately you can find out like where people have other places to grip, right, on their bodies, right, different joints and bones and all that. So uh, in that way, it almost makes me think of like mountain climbing.
Yeah. Off topic. Did you say the Meow Brothers? Like, is it meow?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, they're big, like furries. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, they're
I think with the
Mhm.
fabric, you have so much potential to get injured.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like your fingers or your joints can
Yeah.
get caught accidentally, and then you get injured that way. That's why they have like the all that tape, right? They'll put on their fingers and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like Eileen. I'm just a hipster, so I spell it that the Gaelic way. But is that the way that those letters are pronounced? Is it? Oh well,
I
you said it's similar to
I would have
Eileen.
thought it was Evelyn.
But yeah, so yeah, we don't think Eileen when we see that combination of.
Yeah.
Uh, how do you pronounce the second part? Nicola.
Nicola?
Or is that not in Gaelic? Is that like you're like that's the way it's actually spelled? It's not in Gaelic. Well, we'll wait for your response. Right, so hopefully you're still watching. All right. So, but do you have any predictions? Do you think 10th Planet or Daisy Fresh can get all the way to the finals?
I mean, I'm biased. I am rooting for 10th Planet. I have hope for them. I see a lot of potential.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, yeah. It's like yeah, it's weird because you and I have both, heard people talk about like, or they discount like 10th Planet, but it's like I'm not sure you can actually do that because like I'm seeing in like so even in the UFC's like pro jujitsu thing they just did, it's like you had 10th Planet guys in the finals and then top seeded people and um just it's yeah, it's like they're in like basically all the events, and then even last year, ADCC put out like their results, like their statistics about like the winningest teams, and like 10th Planet was in the top three. So yeah, you definitely can't discount 10th Planet. I think maybe they might not like Eddie's personality or whatever, so they think maybe he's such a character that they kind of discount the stuff. But like how you mentioned, like Alan really likes a lot of the lockdown stuff, and I think that lockdown stuff, like you will mostly see it in 10th Planet, and like I personally like it a lot too. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I'm usually not playing like guard or I'm like where I'm under someone so much, but there have been plenty of times where I've used it. I chose to be like the bottom person, right? And
Yeah.
it was so helpful. And it's really effective. And the more you practice it, the more you can move people around and all that. So and like when I watch MMA, there've been so many times where I feel bad that a lot of these competitors don't know lockdown because they've let people kind of like stay on top of them and rain down elbows and like where they could have used that lockdown to keep the top person in place, and maybe they could have uh, unbalanced them and got the sweep and all that. So it's sad.
Yeah.
All right, Eileen's commenting here. So we got an explanation for the last name, right? So actually, that I still have a question. So this is how you pronounce it in English, Nick Kala, the feminine form of McCall. Okay, Nick means daughter instead of son of. Oh, that's really interesting.
Hmm. Sorry for butchering your name.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it sounds really cool when you pronounce it. Okay, another comment here. So Inogi is 10th Planet kind of its own thing, and non-10th Planet guys are more like traditional BJJ, or has there kind of been synthesis of Eddie's stuff into mainstream by this point? What do you think, Cindy?
Yeah, like I've been to a few schools at this point doing nogi, and Eddie's stuff is not very. No, it's getting more well known, but it wasn't very well known. Like it wasn't taught. It's very traditional outside. Like I went to Kyotera for a few weeks, and the stuff they taught, no twister, no lockdown, no rubber guard, things like that. But the second and no leg locks. But the second you go into a 10th planet, they're teaching you leg locks in day one. They're teaching you rubber guard, they're teaching you lockdown, they're teaching you twister, whatever. So 10th planet is kind of its own thing, and Eddie's stuff is starting to get out. Like I know someone from a Gracie Barra, I think the school is called. Like he came to a 10th planet San Jose one day just to try out with me And I was like, "Do you know lockdown?" And he's like, "Yeah." Maybe it's because he's like a blue belt at that point, but like if you've been in Nogi, there's no way you haven't heard of Eddie. There's no way you haven't heard of lockdown at this point. If you haven't,
Yeah,
it's behind the times.
yeah, or you just might not practice it that much. Or I've
Yeah.
even seen some videos where you'll have like some jujitsu practitioners say like, "Oh, any of the 10th planet techniques are easy to get out of, or you just stand up, or whatever." They'll have all
Yeah.
these excuses, but that means that they're not practicing them, and they probably it's almost like tell us the name of the 10th planet person who submitted you, or like tell
Yeah.
us where how they hurt you. Yeah, so yeah, there is that idea where it's like, yeah, maybe like years ago in traditional jujitsu schools where they hated leg locks, right? Because they felt like it was some dirty trick or whatever. But so I think you'll still have some schools where they think a lot of Eddie stuff is like that. But Eileen, with a wrestling background, Eddie actually incorporates a lot of wrestling into his style, right? So it's like the whole twister, which is like the guillotine in wrestling. So he incorporates a lot of those things, and a lot of those positions, like banana split and all that, they just
Truck.
call it truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just have different terminology, but I think you might like that. I think you would catch on quickly in a 10th planet school because of the familiarity with the wrestling and the rolling someone over on to get the pin, like banana split and stuff. So it's in there. It's in there because he did some high school wrestling, and so he saw the value in those positions. So he incorporated it into the system. Yeah, so I think that's one of the reasons why I like doing it too, because you just get tons of practice, putting people in banana split, right? But they call it truck, and transitioning to guillotine. So you just get tons and tons of reps just doing it, so that you've seen like a lot of the more popular 10th planet guys just like, and actually Eddie said this the other day at HQ. I wish you were there, Sydney. I wish you were still there,
Oh,
but Eddie was talking about that, where it's like you get to the point where it's like, who cares about trying to do a rear naked choke? Like you've got these transitions to like the truck, or transitions to arm bars and stuff that's like almost like easier to get the finish, as opposed to going for rear naked choke where someone has like both hands trying to fight you so I guess his point was that like, yeah, it's like you'll get people who are like really good at defending the choke, so but like they're leaving all these other limbs like like exposed, right?
why would you want to do a rear naked choke when you can choke someone with your foot in rubber guard?
Yeah, like we saw the other week.
That's what it said. Like, I don't want to get choked up by a foot. It was
Yeah,
really
that's
funny.
embarrassing. Yeah, so for those who don't know, I wish we had that like that video queued up where Dominic, one of our classmates
Oh my
at
god.
HQ, yeah, he did like the combat jiu-jitsu, I guess, and he
Yeah.
got the go-go plata, where it's like he had the foot under the guy's neck, and he was slapping his face, and while the guy was uh, going on unconscious from the being choked out by the foot. It was pretty amazing. But yeah, it happened. And so if someone practices these things enough, like the rubber guard stuff, then they can like submit you with it. But it's just like I think you get a lot of people who say negative things. They say it because they really don't spend the time to like practicing these things. And you and I, we would go specifically to rubber guard class because it is very different. And so then that you need to kind of like focus on it if you want to get any good at it. So I think that's why at HQ specifically, they'll actually have like an hour where you can just drill it and like learn the ins and outs of it. And the instructor there for that class, Z, he kind of talks about it that way too. It's like even um, like he says in the world of jujitsu, maybe even most likely less than 1% of people are really good at rubber guard, but it is because it requires that level of like repetition, I guess. All right, Eileen. Let's see. Quote: I'm gonna take this foot and I'm gonna choke you out with it. And there's not a bleep. Or yeah, like that. Yeah. There's not a thing you can do about it. Eddie Jack. Yeah, yeah. No, totally. And we see it. We've seen it happen several times. And actually, I think the whole Gogo Plata technique got really popularized like a long time ago because it was done in MMA. I think by the older Diaz brother. I think he was fighting in MMA in Japan, and then I'm pretty sure it was him who got it on somebody. And so, like, like at that time, everyone's like, "Whoa, that was so different. It's so cool," and all that. So, yeah, but it just takes practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then people try to say like, "Oh, you can just stand up out of rubber guard," but yeah, a lot of times when you're going up against some say like Dominic or whatever, it's like um, he's a brown belt and he's practicing that all the time, so he's able to submit people with it. And you can't just stand up out of it.
Yeah.
That's why I personally don't like to say like, oh, you can't do this or this definitely doesn't work. Because if for people who like say stuff like that where it's like this will never work, and then I'm sure like just a quick Google search and you can find video of someone
Doing it.
winning a match. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not that type of person who's like, no, never. Because yeah, I think when you're like that, yeah, like that, you take a hard stance, then usually you get proven wrong. I think that's the thing where it's like you'll just have like trends of techniques, right? That'll be like the mainstream of jujitsu, and then everyone talks bad about these maybe traditional styles or other styles that are doing something different, just because they're not so mainstream, so people think they don't work. But yeah, then you'll have all these videos of like highlight reel wins of people using these unorthodox techniques.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the trend kind of goes that way, right? And then so yeah, you'll have things going in and out of style all the time. Cool. So are you gonna be watching later?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, going back to the main topic, right? So yeah, we got CJI 2 coming up later on tonight from Las Vegas. We wish we were there. Some of our classmates from 10th Planet HQ are driving over. I saw last night.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. So wish them all luck. Um, yeah, it'd be cool to be there. So I'm sure it's just nice to, like for people in LA, it's like it doesn't take too long to get to Las Vegas. So it's just kind of
Yeah.
a fun break. All right. So if anybody wants to comment which team they think will win, feel free to comment below. But we'll go ahead and let you guys rest up and prepare for tonight and tomorrow night's event. So I think we'll go ahead and call it here. So if you want to support us, you can become a member of our channel, or you can uh, get one-off videos or instructionals on our website. You can also do our CWA Academy class, also on our website, catchwrestlingalliance.com. It's all there. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Cindy, for being here. Do you have anything you'd like to mention? Any last words?
Go check out a 10 Planet, like near you, if you can. It's super fun.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I think Eileen, that might be your ideal place to go because yeah, it's like there'll be no gi class, so, and they incorporate a lot of wrestling things. So I I think you might like that. All right, but if you go anyplace, let us know. Let us know what you think of wherever you go because it's always cool to like see how other schools are teaching. All right, so see you next time. Thank you.